Hello, and welcome to our next episode of Sex and the Young. Yes, children have no sex hormones, so they're never driven by sexual drives. Please get me right. Kids are never driven by sexual urges or drives because they have no active sex hormones. The only way kids become sexual is unless they have been tutored, trained, coached, or groomed by an adult. And that adult can be anybody. Like, it's not in their mind. They don't even think sex, they don't imagine it. That's why they can run around naked. They can tag themselves and laugh openly in the public until we adults showed them that their private part is a shame part. There's a difference between a secret, private thing and a shame thing. When you can paint something being private, being secret, it means it's kept in the confines, and it's out of reach for the public. It's not for everybody to see and behold. But when you make it a shame thing, shame is so much related to sin. That's why even when Jesus died on the cross, he just didn't take our sin. He also took our shame. When Adam fell in Eden, when they realized they were naked, they became ashamed. So shame is actually it's a wicked thing. It's a bad thing. It's a negative thing. It's devilish. So kids will never be sexually active or even involved, engage themselves in sexual activities because they were driven by the sex urges. It takes an adult, a whole human being, to mold, to train, to groom these kids into that. How do we do that? In so many different ways, even by the images we paint before them. How do we carry ourselves? This is a month of February. People are celebrating love and all that. And there are so many couples, so many so-called lovers who are really going to misbehave, and they're already misbehaving before these young ones. It's okay, it's okay to be in love. It's okay to be expressive in your love. But would we be caring enough at least to think about this young generation? How does it feel when you are really kissing deeply as parents before a young child, or boyfriend and girlfriend as adults, like people who are adults, you're grown-ups? When we are doing these sexual things and caressing and holding each other and kissing each other so deeply in front of these young ones, why do we just assume they are young, they don't understand? Most of us, we are glued on screens watching movies or soaps and all that, and that those moments, those scenes of where there's so much deep kissing, sometimes even it's what appears to be like having sex and all that, and we are there watching with our kids. Why do we assume? Because for them, actually, when they are even trying it out, they say, like, we want to do what mom and dad does, or what so and so and so and so does, or what we saw on telly. They just want to copy. They are just imitating. It doesn't mean that they know the pleasure of sex or the dangers of sex. They have no idea how pleasurable or how dangerous it is. They completely are in the dark. They're not like adults. So for us, it's actually very evil, very immoral, very unjustifiable, very unfair. It's unwise. It's bad for us to tag these young children to be sexually active, or to be sexual or whatever it is. We are the ones sexualizing our children. Please, let's style up. Let's stop these messes. Be careful how you express yourself, how whatever you do. I've mentioned it, the media, whatever you watch, the way you behave yourself, the way you conduct yourselves. So these are some of the ways we groom these kids into sexual behaviors, into sexual activities. So parent, guardian, let's help these young, innocent lives. They have a full life before them. Let's stop poisoning their minds. Let's stop poisoning them and planting into them feelings that are introducing into them, things that were not really there, that are going to be a burden to them. And at times now when they see that and they're asking questions, we actually end up maybe sometimes explaining it and deeply and other, and their curiosity will always want to make them want to know why this. Yeah? How does it feel then to do this and that and that? And that's how now, if care is not taken, that's when now they grow up and become teenagers who look like they're so messed up. And they start blaming them and hitting them, spanking them, abusing them, mishandling them, because they're immoral, they are loose, they are bad. Yet we are really the ones who groomed them into that, maybe unconsciously. And some grooming is actually done very, very consciously. There are people who are playing with your children. In this, we saw the other time the woman who was arrested, and this is a daycare where you take your child there innocently to be watched over by a mama, mother, an adult. You suspect nothing. And then there are a number of kids there. The woman is taking them and dressing them and doing whatever she's doing and taking videos of them, grooming these kids. Why didn't these kids even tell their parents? Because there's no sex in their mind. They're not thinking it's bad, it's evil, or it's nice, it's pleasurable. It's not in them. That's why they can't speak it out, they can't report it. So sometimes it's not just the threats of the abusers or the groomers that don't tell your mother, don't tell anybody about this. If you tell, it's not sometimes just that threat that keeps them, but mostly it's their innocence. They don't really, it's not something to go and, they don't, because they don't understand the magnitude, the dangers, or the pleasures of the activity or the action. Please, let's rise up and protect our children. No child has sex hormones that drives them into wanting to have sex until an adult grooms them. Thank you for subscribing. Keep following me. Keep sharing. Let me know what you think about this. God bless you. Bye-bye.